Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ava Death Dolly. I am 58 years old now. I'm currently homeless. I am particularly known as a trans femme. And the purpose of this video is, I don't know. I'm reflecting on a deeply personal thing, I suppose. There are a handful of people that will probably, should they see this, they will undoubtedly have some emotions pulled for the events that took place 28 years ago. Haunt some of us. Some of us maybe more than others, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's difficult to talk about at times. I made a few videos about this because a year ago, someone reached out from beyond the veil and wanted me to come see them. It was a beautiful friend I didn't get to spend very much time with alone. Bit of the talks we had, what few talks we had, they were deep. They were personal. And I'll say, oh, my beautiful friend, who I miss so dearly. He understood me. He understood me better than I did at the time. That is what it is, I suppose. You see, there was a stage persona most fans knew well. There was the reputation he had. And while some of it was more myth than anything else, there was, mischievous, seductive. These are the things, the two best words I would describe my dear friend. An old friend of mine from the punk scene, To Kill a Mockingbird, once told me she carried a particular burden because she was the last person to speak to Darby Crash before he died. And the timing of it, when she told me this, struck a real deep chord in me. Because a year later, I too would be carrying a very similar burden. You see that phone call? Well, it's from Roz Williams. You know, singer of Christian Death. Some would argue, he made 3 albums. I think he did a little more than that. More than 3 albums. I'm not saying in vinyl press, but he was a lot of things to a lot of people. It's been almost 3 decades since he took his life. And still, particularly among the death rockers of Generation X, he haunts the scene all these years later. But the hardest thing for me was acknowledging what he knew. He knew then. And it just took forever for me to acknowledge, or even to admit. You have to forgive the noise. This is Hollywood. I have no privacy. I have to shoot where I can. I gotta deal with the ghetto factor here, but it is what it is. I spent a good part of this afternoon in tears, running my makeup, and listening to the sound of his voice, trying to reconcile it with the voice that I heard that night 28 years ago. And it's been difficult. And though I started to open up about this a year ago, I still find it difficult to talk about. I mean, there are some elements that I cannot share. I'm sorry. That's just going to piss people off. No, it's nothing negative about anyone, but it's something very intimate, something that I keep close to my heart. I didn't realize it until almost about, I want to say 9 months ago, just how much I loved him. I mean, I was a total girl for him. And he had many lovers, and he had a lot of friends. And God knows he had scores of fans who adored him. All these years later, it's almost 3 decades, and I'm still mourning him. I tried not to think about it for a long time, but there it is. You know, we're still mourning him. His death is still haunting us. And it's just, those fucking idiots over here. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, I was in the process of separating from my first wife when it all went down. I mean, I've always dated women. There was a time I was with other trans girls, but never men. And I was never attracted to him. But Rozz, he was different. He was special. He knew I wasn't ready for him. It was hard talking to about this with my wife initially, and she's been very understanding about the whole thing. This is my current wife, of course. You know, it's difficult. You're married to someone and you're confessing your love for someone else. I'm in love with a dead man. And he still has a piece of my heart. All these years later, it's like I'm hostage to him. Yeah. But I'm not the only one. I'm certain of it. Again, he had many lovers. He had a lot of friends, and he had adoring fans. Every anniversary of his death, I avoid his little urn over there at Hollywood Forever because I don't want to deal with fans. I've had plenty of people over the years try to get me to talk to fans or talk to people that wanted to make videos or write books about him. I gotta say, a couple of them were kind of con artists. Some people just didn't have their head from their ass and lied their way to get an interview out of me. So I wouldn't reveal what I could tell you right now. I'm sharing this now because I won't lie. I mean, I'm currently married. I love my wife. But I also love Rozz. I love him because, you know, he made me feel special. He made me feel I don't know how to put it in words without falling to pieces. I mean, what he confessed to me on that fateful night. I mean, probably the highest compliment anyone could ever have given me. Neither prior nor since, you know. But it has taken a long time to acknowledge the fact how much I love him still. And I mourn for him. I avoided his grave. I avoided his fans. I avoided everyone because I didn't want to talk about it. I hated dealing with fans, honestly. I mean, I had my fill being married to dying of cancer for those 10 years. Fans were always problematic because they have their ideas. They have expectations. They have their own desires, and often they don't align with reality. And sometimes the rock star often plays into the part for their own amusement or to stroke their own ego. Rozz just let things happen. He didn't do anything deliberate or play role games, I guess, at least not with me. I admit, when I first met him, I was kind of afraid of him, to be honest with you, but he disarmed me so quickly. I mean, I'll never forget that first moment. I said, Rozz, I heard you committed suicide in San Francisco. And he says, no, I didn't commit suicide. I was washing dishes in San Francisco. And we laughed and we struck a beautiful friendship from that moment. You know, he always found me fascinating to talk to, and I just melted in his fucking arms. That night when at Mogul's, Jolien, if you're watching, you were there. You saw it. It kind of rescued me. I was almost run out of the scene by dying of cancer. And Rozz just comes up to me with Shaitan in tow, kisses me on the lips, wraps his arms around me and kisses me on the lips. I would never do that to you. Oh my God. My friend Jolien there, he was saying, that was beautiful. It was. Redeem me in the scene. I'll always be in debt to him for that. But more so, to have his friendship. And in addition to Shaitan, a year ago when I start to open up about this, me and Shaitan hadn't spoken in all those years until this last year, and I'm grateful to my friend and on rare occasion guitar player Killjoe from Only Theater Pain and Eyeliner and a few other bands. He helped us at least meet up so we could try to heal the wound, and a piece of my heart was given back to me that night. I miss Shaitan. I'll always have that bond with her, that I was with her when we got the news that April Fool's Day. Around 10 o'clock, the phone call rang, and Zara, her daughter, answered the phone, and she said, Mom, I think you want to take this call. And I'll never forget how she said, put her hand on her head like this and said, you better be fucking kidding me. This is not fucking funny. Then she collapsed right there, holding the phone. It was connected to the wall. And that's when I knew it happened. It was before she even said anything, and turned to us all, and it was just, I mean, it was only her two children and myself in her house in Silver Lake, and she looked at a blank stare and said, he did it. He fucking did it. I think my first wife, Mary, I think she was jealous. Both of Shaitan and you know what friendship I struck up with Rozz, she didn't really want me talking to him. I mean, she knew him longer and kind of was a little possessive about that, but she never pursued him as a friend, whereas Rozz was always kind of chasing after Mary, you know, trying to say hello, give her respect and all that. And every time she kind of ducked and covered a little bit, I was there. And Rozz was always kind and sweet to me. That last phone call, that last conversation, I didn't know it was going to be the end. I didn't know he was gonna hang himself 3 hours later, or maybe it was 2 hours. Timeline is debatable because, again, I wasn't over there on Fuller Street when it happened. I'm not sure if the other people that were there, if they knew or were present. I don't know. I've never asked the question. I never really wanted to know. It didn't matter to me. It didn't matter because, again, what he told me, the parts that I can't share, resonate, share, will always be with me. And because of that, I'll always love him. Don't get me wrong. I love my wife. I love my children. But there's that piece of me that will always love Roz. And every time I feel I need him, you know, he's there. And I miss him dearly. I'd give almost anything to be in his arms again. Just to hear his voice. That kiss on the lips. You know, you think almost 30 years later, you'd think, you know, you'd be done grieving. Maybe, you know, you'd be able to talk about it. But as you can see, it's hard. It seems, for me, it's like it happened yesterday. As I shared his picture, it's one of my favorite photos of him. Not in rock star mode, just him being casual. Kind of the way I knew him. It's tragic that I am succumbing to old age and decay. My beautiful flower that I once blossomed to is fading. Yet, my dear Roz, he shall never grow old. Remind you, you had such moments with Roz. You had friendship, intimacy, or even love, or true affairs with him. My experience doesn't invalidate yours, not at all. And I'm not jealous, and I consider myself fortunate. As I said to my friend Jillian tonight, how fortunate were we to have known such an incredible being, a true Dionysian in every sense of the word. He will carry this energy about him. And if he favored you in some way, you felt that. You felt it on such a deep level. And it stayed with you all this time. I'm not the only person in tears tonight. And it's hard. It really is. I miss my dear friend. But as I say often, it would have never worked between us if I wanted more. And I'm the jealous type, and so it would have never worked. Because I know him. He couldn't stay. I mean, he was kind of like my first wife. Couldn't stay with any one person for too long. And he was jovial, mischievous, and he's loved the people that loved him sometimes, and those who were close to him. And my regret is that I didn't get to be closer. Partially my fault, I suppose, maybe, or, I mean, I can't blame my first wife, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll share more at another time. I'm being encroached by street urchins out here, and it's starting to get really wet here tonight. But there it is. Be at peace. Love you all.